All right. Here we go. Easter eggs, you say? I'm looking forward to that. Let a couple other people show up if they so desire. Um, so yes, long story short, I missed out on the window to purchase the Talking Strong Bad when it was first announced because they sold out like instantaneously. And I knew that I would buy it as soon as it was available because one of my great regrets as a consumer is that I never got the Kick the Cheat doll of my very own. Is that those were long gone and I just never bought one, and that will always be the toy that got away. So in a few moments, I will be opening up the doll. Here it is, with my address blacked out because internet. I could probably have done that without covering the lens entirely, but here we go. But yes, I was actually impressed with how quickly this thing arrived, considering I didn't splurge on any sort of special shipping or anything. Now, for those of you who don't know about this, oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do to revisit the Country Bears on the podcast, and to honor 10 years of Tony making stuff. That was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to do that. Now, for those of you who do not know about this toy, let's revisit the promo for the toy.
Secret Collect will return after these messages.
I wish I had a little friend to play with.
Homestar's not moving. Is he dead?
Talking Strong Bad. He's my bud boy, a cute little version of me. Holy crap!
This has gotten stuck in my head so much.
Real live plush toy. He says different things when you squeeze him.
Talking Strong Bad is a posable plush.
Hey, tone it down, man.
Sorry. Talking Strong Bad is a posable plush doll. It says 15 different phrases.
Let's say upwards of 14
I'm
phrases.
so excited that I own one.
Sounds more impressive.
Okay. Posable plush doll. It says upwards of 14 phrases when you press the blue diamond kind of thing on his forehead.
Looks like I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that's what they were going for.
I love you.
What the crap?
New from Cheap Ass Free Toys and Fangamer. And don't forget these other items available at fangamer.com.
Talking Strong Bad Plush doll. Mumble mumble. Fine print. Legal disclaimer.
And so forth. So, yeah. I was saying earlier, my big regret as a consumer is that I never got the Kick the Cheat doll before they were discontinued, and I never got the first two sets of figurines. I finally only recently got the Cheat Commandos figurines and the Meeples, which I unboxed on TikTok. Because I missed out on the Kick the Cheat doll, and that was one of my great regrets in life, I knew I didn't want to miss out on this. But I did miss out on the first run of this because it sold out so freaking fast. I was going to buy one for my brother buy one for Nick for his birthday, or not his birthday, for Christmas. but then they were sold out and weren't in stock again until this calendar year. So now it's not Christmas anymore, so I was like, well, I don't have the excuse of buying it as a gift. So if I am going to buy something this unnecessary in my daily life, I have to at least turn it into content, because I am not allowed to have unmonetizable hobbies. That's just not how we do in this generation. That is good to know about the actual placement of, well, you know, they got to leave room for the blue diamond to actually pop bottle caps off cold ones. Yeah, I mean, maybe it helps that they took a break for a while there, but yeah, every new Homestar thing is still perfect, pretty much. Like I've listened to Kooky Moonlight definitely more than 50 times more since since that last Halloween tune came out. See, I feel like I still have a chance to get into Club 33 someday, but anyway, let us open this. We got this fine fan gamer packaging. Look, it's got game type stuff all over the design. It's you know perfect for all the Super Nintendo World footage that's finally been unembargoed. So I say unboxing. It's really more of an unbagging. I guess I could get scissors, but where's the fun in that? I just want to rip this thing open. Oh, I see what looks like a cheat kicking boot right there. Yeah, this isn't going to be a very long one. This probably isn't going to be my only stream for the month. This is just, I just, look, truth be told, I needed a way to, if I buy a fancy toy, I need to find a way to turn it into content, because that's the only way I can justify buying myself expensive things that I don't need in day-to-day life. And look at this guy. Look at this WrestleMan. Look at this email checkingest guy in the land. Honestly, I would love if that show was at Islands of Adventure. Let me go through everyone's comments. You know, I don't hate the Peach mascot. It's not nearly as bad as that that Jessica Rabbit character in, I think, Paris. I get that her design is a little more conventionally humanoid than Mario or Luigi, because they have to make her look attractive, I guess. And I get that that doesn't translate into a costume quite as well as just the roundish mascot features of Mario and Luigi. But I don't know. From what I've seen so far, the Peach character, the Peach meet and greet character, doesn't bother me that much. Let's see. What else? From the looks of things, from what I've seen so far about Super Nintendo World, I think it'll change. Maybe it'll change the game a little bit in terms of, like, around the land interactivity, because Galaxy's Edge has all the same kind of mini games that Super Nintendo World does. It's just that they're only on your phone and you're not seeing them. The Nintendo World mini games seem like a cross between the Galaxy's Edge interactivity and the World Showcase Kim Possible slash Agent P slash soon to be DuckTales game, where you're actually making things happen around the land. So I honestly don't know if Nintendo World is going to, like, I don't know how much new ground Nintendo World's really breaking. They're just they're just executing it really well. But if they really pull off the augmented reality on, because obviously the leaked footage looks a little jarring, but if that augmented reality really does work in person, then Mario Kart might change the game. We'll see. Good to know. Keep the tag. I'll beat it later. Yeah, yeah. It's just I know people have also commented that the Bo Peep meet and greet they added for Toy Story 4 looks creepy, and I think it's just the closer to human a feature, the closer to human the features look. You know, it's Uncanny Valley. The scarier the fuzzy costume looks. Oh, the script project channel is Dave Reads and Writes, and I would like to be getting back to that soon. I just have not had time and energy, but I'm hoping to revive that project at some point before too long. I'm sure I must have. I just don't remember it. It did not make an impression on me. Yeah, I think there, for whatever reason, there are some characters they just don't want to make them face characters, and I don't know why. Um, anyway, let's get back to opening up. We got some good Homestar Runner branding on the top of the bag. There we go. We got strong bad collectible talking plush. If it's collectible, does that mean there will be more plush characters coming out soon? I hope so. I hope they do a whole bunch of. I would love a whole line of posable talking Homestar characters. A Homestar where you press the star to make him talk. That would be great. And we got our various different brand partners here: Fangamer, and we got Symbiote Studios and the Space Coyote, and of course Homestar Runner registered trademark Harmless Junk Incorporated. I do not have Mario Kart Home Circuit. We're thinking of getting it, but again, we can only spend so much money on frivolous things because we are broke. Which again is why if I buy something fun, it needs to become content. And obviously, I could easily turn Mario Kart Home Circuit into content, but let's see. The blue diamond thing could very well be an Infinity Stone. Yes. No. When you spin his when you spin his buzzer, it plays the theme for Night Court starring Richard Mall. All right. So here we have our posable friend. The floppy disk tag is very nice. That is a very nice touch. And it's a compy disc. I have. It's been a while, but you know, I loved Homestar and I loved Telltale around the time that was coming out, so it was just a perfect convergence of my interests. Good to know. Let's see what else is in the green bag. I do not think they gave me any free stuff, which, you know, is fine. I can neither confirm nor deny that at some point there will be. Well, actually, I've already said this on Pods. At some point, there will be a Homestar Armchair Imagineering. Yeah, it's a bummer how Telltale fell, but oh well. All right, let's hear what he has to say. Very little, apparently. Arrowed. That's a good start. They got some. I'm not gonna say they're not fully deep cuts, but they're less of the like all the catchphrases I expected were in the commercial, and then some additional fun ones are here. That's fun. Boy, I tell you, I remember how jarring it was when Decemberween Mackerel came out, and at the time it felt like they had been on hiatus forever before that one came out, and boy, did we have no idea. But I just remember that one was, it wasn't a different aspect ratio, it was just so much bigger on the website when it came out than all the other tunes were, and it was very crazy. It seemed very overwhelming. Oh, that is a very good question. So there is there's a tune on the site called First Time Here, which is basically the first introduction. So I recommend going there, clicking on First Time Here, then clicking on characters, seeing all the different character videos. And then most people get in through Strong Bad emails. I'm trying to think of what the best ones for newcomers would be. I guess like Dragon is a good one because it was what so many people saw first that got them into it. Like Dragon and Japanese cartoon. I don't know. That might be a good Decemberween D list sometime. Is best starting points for Homestar. That's one to think about. Yeah, Speemails. The good thing about the early Speemails is they're sort of bite-sized enough that you can plow through them. And, you know, if you watch a few of them, you'll start to get the rhythm, basically. What's hard for me to think about when I'm recommending Homestar cartoons is so many of them build on the punchlines of earlier ones. So one, I forget that the earlier ones actually were pretty funny when they came out and they're not just laying groundwork. Two, I forget that the ones I really like are completely inaccessible to anyone who does not know all the previous lore. You know, yeah, but Disney parks never do anything for TV animation. So unless we get Strong Bad's World Showcase Adventure, we're probably not getting. That is something I would like to do at some point when it's safe to have enough friends over to make that fun. Because I kickstarted the Trogdor board game with the intention of using it for content because I can't spend that much money on something without figuring out how to write it off because that's just the lovely capitalistic world we live in. That's it exactly. That's it exactly with Homestar. It's made for binge watching, I'll tell you that much. We're all on board for Return Grizzly Peak into Gravity Falls. Let's see. If you could time travel and change one obscure thing, what would you change? Like change an obscure reference I made, or change an obscure thing that I've referenced, like change the source material I've referenced. Because probably there are some. Well, I don't know. I don't think I would change any of my references because I, by and large, stand by the nonsense in my brain. But see, I feel like SeaWorld still has a couple of years just as a zoo hanging on. And like, I know they got a lot of bad press. Some of it deserved, some of it less deserved than others. But they are still doing so much like genuine animal rehabilitation work that they're still, I believe they're still an accredited zoo. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll get some sort of a bailout, even if they do get in trouble. Obscure thing like in history. I guess I would prevent. Well, like all the big tragedies I would want to prevent weren't very obscure. So I'm just cutting in with my strong bad. I don't know. I would change. I would do a lot of research first and decide which like obscure event really butterfly affected to make real problems happen. It felt like the big rumor was Brazil was that the Brazil announcement would be last year, and you know it could still happen. It could still happen. Let's see what else our friend has to say.
I said consummate beans.
I wouldn't know Majesty if it came up and bit him in the face. I feel like the proportions are very interesting. Like I feel like his forehead is much larger than Strong Bad, or like slightly disproportionate, but that's probably just the result of, you know, how they had to make it work as a plush doll. When will Tomorrowland be updated at Disneyland? I'm guessing at this point it'll be a while before we get any major updates at Disneyland. There was the rumor that Joe Rohde was working on a Tomorrowland update, but now he's retired, so I'm guessing that project is either shelved or maybe he's got someone stepping in to take over. See, he does have the tiny hands going on, but he's not speaking in the storybook voice, unfortunately. And he has the full face design, not just the tiny-handed design. But I would love one that only said you see, 3 is clearly a smaller number than 1,000,000, and all those ones. I think Tron is going to be the last major update they get. I still think it's weird for a Disney park to have 2 roller coasters right next to each other, but it's normal for every other kind of park, so I don't know. Let's see what else he has to say. There's a catchphrase we know and love.
Everybody to the limit, everybody to the limit, everybody come up with what we got. Looks like I'm gonna have to jump.
Boo-doop. Boo-doop. Boop. See, they need to make a strong sad plush so that you can swap him out as the stunt double. So apparently, to fix the People Mover track would require like an actual ground up rebuilding from scratch, just because rocket rods did that much damage to the foundation. So in order for it to be up to code for people to be on, they would have to basically reinforce it to the level that they just have to rebuild it. So I don't know. They definitely need to do something with it because it's just sad seeing it up there. Crapfully yours. I want to get one of those like magnets, like those baby Groots that sit on people's shoulder at the park. Here's the thing. If they wanted to, they could have used the pandemical time to do all the like huge fucking projects that they've been putting off forever. Like, the problem is they've been getting this carrot dangled in front of them of like, we could reopen any day now. And like I think if they knew how long they would have to be closed for, they would have used the time to reroute the monorail to allow for expansion into the old lagoon, to reinforce either demolish altogether or reinforce the People Mover track. Like, if they knew how long they would be closed, I think they would make much better use of the time. But because they wanted to be able to open any day now, that it's just, I don't know. Like, this was the perfect opportunity while the park was closed to fix everything, and they just haven't been doing that. I've long thought they would, but now I'm not sure. It's just a shame that they don't border each other, like that Tomorrowland doesn't border Galaxy's Edge, so that they could do it so that it always ends on the Last Jedi ending where you land in Batuu and then have the exit be into Batuu. I just feel like that would be something special, but also there's really nowhere on just the border of Galaxy's Edge where it makes sense to put Star Tours. So I feel like it's possible, but I feel like it's more likely they'll eventually just close Star Tours altogether. Originally, I would have thought they would have replaced Star Tours with the Hong Kong Iron Man ride, but since all the Marvel stuff is going to DCA, I don't think that's likely. Super Nintendo World looks fun, and I'm most intrigued by like the walkthrough attractions. Yoshi's Adventure looks very cute. The footage of Mario Kart, the footage with the AR goggles looks very disorienting, and I hope it looks better in person than it does when someone's like sticking a camera under their goggles. But I watched one ride through without the goggles, just for the ride through, and I was surprised by how many actual like non-AR elements are in the ride, and I feel like it's one of those rides that I might just find more interesting if it wasn't interactive, but I don't know, maybe the interactivity works better in person. Yeah, but I mean, if it's stuff they needed to do, this was the opportunity. They just didn't know how long they'd have the opportunity. I mean, yeah, like, if you have to do a new, eventually, I think I'll do an armchair Imagineering on additional ways to fix Journey into Imagination, aside from the Phineas and Ferb pitch I had. And I think the big thing is, like, so rebuilding the original as was would be way too expensive. But doing a new one with Dreamfinder, I think, so with Chuck McCann no longer with us, you could get Ron Schneider to do it. But if you want a professional voice actor to do it, I always thought Dreamfinder's voice sounded very close to Professor Farnsworth's voice. So I feel like Billy West could do a decent Dreamfinder. Good news, everyone! One little spark of inspiration. But I've got some ideas for basically Journey 4.0 that reinvest some of the charm of Journey 1.0. Muppet Vision, they could move more easily than they could move like a ride. The question is, do they have enough interest in the Muppets, in keeping the Muppets alive to do so? And I hope they do, because it is Jim's final film, and I hate that we lost it here. So like if Disney World closes it, they need to fucking have it playing at the Smithsonian or something. That's also one of my ideas, because Dave Goelz is already the voice of Figment now. You have Dave Goelz in the Imagination Pavilion, and you don't have him play Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. See, but they could have Inside Out with Figment. Like, if Bing Bong can exist in this world, I don't see how Figment couldn't. The comedy stylings of Billy West and Dave Goelz. Also, Dave Goelz was in Inside Out, too. Dave Goelz and Frank Oz had a scene together in Inside Out, and it was their first time performing. Like, it was the first movie they were in together since Muppets from Space. See, I like Eric Idle, and I very much enjoyed him mixing Figment up with Devin/Cornwall, and it's not his fault the ride currently sucks. It's Eisner's fault. Yeah, so honestly, the better fit for an Inside Out ride would be to, for an Inside Out attraction, would be to, like, because the Cranium Command stage, at least as of last time someone managed to sneak backstage, the Cranium Command stage was still standing, and it would be very easy to swap that out for an Inside Out attraction. But, I don't know. Okay, that was great. Hey kids, I'm talking Homestar. I wonder if that counts as one of the 15 phrases. I like that even on their toys, Homestar's got to have Easter eggs. So I have been keeping up with WandaVision. I don't know what to make of that certain cameo, but it's definitely going to unfold in the next episode. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but everyone has their theories about the next shape of the MCU, and people are talking a lot about multiverse in the MCU, especially with the announcement that like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are showing up in the next Spider-Man. Which now I liked the first two Spider-Man MCU movies, but we already had a perfect Spider-Man multiverse movie. So if you're doing multiverse in Spider-Man, boy, I hope you know what you're doing there. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to do. That was it was fun to revisit the Country Bears and reminisce about old times. Yes, I did an armchair Imagineering pitching Disney Halloween rides, or Disney Halloween mazes rather, and one of the big ones I pitched was doing an actual maze for the first Alien movie, which, you know, the Nostromo was designed to be a maze. And I know Horror Nights did Alien versus Predator mazes, but come on, it's right there. Let's hear some other things he has to say.
If you rub me on your face, I'll give you a rash. That Plush doll will not actually give you a rash.
If you rub me on your face, I'll give you a rash. And then a disclaimer. Ooh, I don't hate that idea. I mean, Jafar's not the problem segment in that show, but that could be a good one. Yeah. I don't know, like the MCU has made a lot of announcements in the past that have sounded gimmicky, but then ended up working better for me than I thought they would. So I don't know. I'll wait to see everything to see how it unfolds. But I'm still holding on to my theory that Dick Van Dyke will have a cameo in WandaVision. I'm holding on to that theory, and only because when interviewed, only because we know that Dick Van Dyke was like their sitcom consultant, telling them how to like perform sitcom stuff. And when the director was interviewed, he was asked, "So, did you think about trying to give him a cameo?" And he avoided the question. He just said, "He's great, and I'd love to work with him," and did not specifically say we did or didn't give him a cameo. So based on, I know nothing about comics, but based on the things people are talking about some of the stories WandaVision is based on, I just threw it out there. Dick Van Dyke as Mephisto. Spider-Man 3, Homestar Weber. That would be very cool. A drone pixie dust ship. That would be very expensive for Disney to do, but that would be very cool. I have not heard much about the 50th anniversary fireworks show, but I'm sure it'll be loud and spectacular. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, I'm noticing you. Got to throw a light switch rave. Here's the thing is we know very little about the actual business needs of a theme park. So we'd pitch all the cool ideas and then get ousted by the board almost immediately. Maybe the electrical parade will go back to Disney World. It came here, for that hot second. It was cool to see again, but honestly, Paint the Night is an improvement. Like, I like Paint the Night. I'm not really a parade guy. I like the Main Street Electrical Parade for its historical significance and everything, and I think Baroque Hoedown is very catchy. But I really thought Paint the Night took everything that worked about the electrical parade and really built on it in a real great way. If Homestar has Homestar and Strongbad has Card Gauge, who would the cheat have? Obviously, Didgeridoo, and to a lesser extent, the Sneak. Supercharged does really feel like Universal's Superstar Limo, not in terms of, like, obviously it's a more ambitious project than Superstar Limo, but just in terms of how nobody liked it. Strongbad all the time, so great.com. Yeah, I guess I've never really talked about the electric water pageant in person or in videos. I've usually just seen it out of the corner of my eye while I'm passing through Magic Kingdom's entrance at night. That might be a fun. That would be a fun thing to do when we're able to reunite again. Is to do like just our Be Kind Rewind sweeting of Superstar Limo. Charlie just twirling the microphone as funny man Tim Allen. I almost said Steve Allen. What the fuck? I work as a scare actor at Not Scary Farm most years. Obviously, I didn't this past year. I guess if I ever move closer to Universal than to Knott's, I will audition at Horror Nights. I have heard that their characters that like things are actually cushier for them than they are for us at Knott's. It's a less demanding job, but also a job by and large with less creative freedom because you're mostly lip syncing to things, which we don't do nearly as much at Knott's. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing what it's like from the inside there too. Supercharged limo. So when I'm playing the Trogdor board game, I gotta just keep hitting it until it says that. And the Consummate Bees one. I feel like it would be great if a lot of the horror things, because like, so you can watch videos of the mazes and stuff, but I feel like it would be great if the horror part, the parks that do Halloween events, had like a daytime mini experience where you were allowed to, like, even if it was for an extra charge, where you could walk through the mazes without characters, just so you could actually appreciate the theming, because the decor of the mazes is always so great. And again, it's like riding Mario Kart without the AR goggles. Like I kind of want to do this just without the disorienting element. And I like Halloween mazes, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for someone to get in my face, even though I'm also sometimes paid to be that person who gets into someone's face. We don't currently have any plans to riff that, and I've never seen the 71 TV special. I'll look into it. We got some other things we do want to riff at some point, but it's just we've always got so many other projects on our plate, and coordinating the three of us into a project is more complicated than it sounds. Like, we love working together, but we are always so busy with our own individual projects as well as with our day jobs, with our other life commitments, and working on a project for the three of us. It's something we love to do. It's just something that doesn't come easy, which is why it's great doing the podcast. It's great doing Escape from Vault Disney, because I only have to commit like at the most 4 hours to watch the thing and then talk about it. And then poor Tony has to do all the work editing the podcast, which I know can take a while, because not only do we ramble, we also stammer, which he likes to cut out. Oh yeah, when I play the game, I guess I need to do the whole soundboard album in general. Okay, see, Knott's was doing a Tooth Fairy maze long before Universal Orlando did. The first maze I worked at Knott's was the Tooth Fairy, the evil dentist, evil Tooth Fairy maze. And yeah, they stole that from us, because literally every theme park steals everything from Knott's Berry Farm. Favorite and least favorite DCA attraction currently? Currently, my favorite DCA attraction is Mission Breakout. It is the only DCA attraction that's ever cracked my top 5 for the resort. What's at DCA right now? What is my least favorite? Probably something on Pixar Pier, but like there's nothing there I hate. It's just stuff I never go on. Like, there are things that are technically attractions that are such non-entities. Like, I think technically the sourdough bakery tour is an attraction, and some people might say, oh, that's one of the worst, but I like that because I get free bread. That's nice. What do I never do? I guess I never do Jumpin' Jellyfish. So by default, that's my least favorite, but I don't have anything against it. I just never ride it. I don't know. I think there's a version of Disney's America that could have worked. I think there's a version of the park they were trying to design that could have worked, probably built by someone other than Disney. I would love to stay at the Beach and Yacht Club just to use that water slide in the sunken pirate ship. I feel like we broke this down once, but I can't remember what we landed on. I feel like we decided Tony was Crow. I think Tony was Crow, and Charlie might have been like Joel because he's got that laid back thing. So I guess I'm Servo, which I mean Servo's my favorite, so I'm fine with that. You know, it comes up from time to time as a thing people reference, and like I get why people make that comparison. And then I once talked to Ken Parks, actually at the most recent season finale, as they were building to the hoedown. I saw Ken Parks, and I just had to say, like, I just had to say, Mr. Parks, thank you for Ghost Town Alive, because it's my favorite thing any theme park has ever done. It's the thing I've wanted theme parks to do my entire life. And he said, oh, thank you. Me too. It's the thing I've wanted to be real ever since I saw Westworld as a kid. So even the creator of Ghost Town Alive knows the Westworld comparison. I have not been on Emotional Whirlwind yet, so I guess by default it's not on my list of favorites, but I just haven't been on it yet. I went on it when it was Flix Flyers, and honestly, from what I've seen, I do think it's an aesthetic upgrade from Flix Flyers. So that's cool. We're not planning on doing a Disney World opening riff, but maybe if I don't know. I'll look at the opening special, and if it seems particularly riff worthy, I'll see if the guys want to do it. I'm not going to try to tell Tony to do it on his channel because he's got enough of a workload editing the podcast week to week. But maybe I'll do something on my channel because I've been doing a lot of riffing with Doggins lately. In fact, there's a Riffin' with Doggins coming out at the end of this month, and you can watch it right now on patreon.com/Doggins for just a $2 pledge. Yes, that's right, patreon.com/Doggins, the place to go for all your patreon.com/Doggins needs. And here are all the other places you can find me. Favorite and least favorite Disneyland park attraction. Favorite is Indy. Indy might have gotten edged out by Rise of the Resistance, but until I can actually just walk on Rise of the Resistance, until I can actually just wait in line without a reservation, there's going to be too much hassle associated with it for me to, like, I think it's amazing. I think it's a great ride, but just the hassle of getting on it is so complicated that it's like, at least with Indy, I can just get in the single rider line. I mean, obviously not right now. Least favorite Disneyland park attraction. Again, I never go on Gadget's Go Coaster anymore. Matterhorn is uncomfortable, but I love the snowman so much in there that I can't call it my least favorite necessarily. Even Small World I don't dislike as much as some people I know. I think the only attraction in Disneyland Park that I've never once done is the Davy Crockett River Canoes. So let's say that by default. I have not seen that, but I'll check it out. So it was less technology bad and more capitalism bad, which, yeah. I mean, it's a carousel. It's fine, you know. Like I have nothing against carousels. I don't find them particularly interesting, but you know, kids like them. I liked carousels at the mall growing up because it was a ride where a ride shouldn't be. I will say Chippendale's Treehouse, back when it was actually a slide, at least there was a flow to it. So now it's just bleh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Runaway Railway, and I like the El Capitan design. I feel like the only place, okay, so the only places a third gate could go. See, again, the advantage Disneyland Resort has over Disney World Resort is that you can just walk from park to park. And they can't build a third gate without losing that element unless they replace Downtown Disney with the third park, which they're not going to do. The closest places I think a third gate can go are paving over the Toy Story lot with the third gate, but that might come with its own hassles because I don't know if there's enough space there to still have all the cast member parking they need there, or buying out Anaheim Garden Walk and putting the third gate there, which would be extra cruel on Disney's part because so many of the businesses that left downtown Disney moved to Anaheim Garden Walk. So there have also been rumors that they'll close Angel Stadium and turn it into a third gate, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like they just want to drive the property value in Anaheim down so much that they buy out all of Anaheim and turn it into the actual Epcot city. When I get back to Universal Florida, I will do such a video. But not until I experience it in person, and I haven't been to Florida since 2012. It's all connected. I find Downtown Disney less overwhelming than City Walk. I find it less like the music plays at a better volume for me most of the time, and it's not quite so garish. And I really like the Grand Californian as a backdrop. That said, City Walk has Margaritaville, and I love me some ahi poke nachos, so it's a toss-up. I mean, I don't think Disney will be able to buy Knott's now because Knott's is the only park that's actually figuring out how to make the pandemic work. I know they wanted it to be Disney's America, and I'm glad Disney didn't buy Knott's, but it's also complicated what Cedar Fair did to Knott's, but now they're treating Knott's well, so Knott's is currently in good hands. I've heard the Tom Hanks Carousel of Progress rumors. Those rumors have been going for a while, so I don't know if there's anything to it, but it would be funny. It would be very funny for Tom Hanks to be in a Disney attraction right next to the Buzz Lightyear attraction. I think now more people, now that there's more nostalgia for the Disney afternoon, but I think there are people, every once in a while I see comments from people who are like, oh, I thought it was Inspector Gadget, which is confusing because Disney made the Inspector Gadget movie because they did briefly own Deke, but they do not currently own Deke. I will say any Harry Potter videos I make from here on out, if nothing else, all the Patreon funds I get from them will be donated to whatever the best trans charities I can find are, because it's it's tough. And honestly, like, the theme park is the thing from the franchise. I would honestly, like, as much as I liked the books, I would have no trouble just washing my hands of the franchise by and large, except for the fact that the franchise is one of the overpowering forces in the industry that I find myself reviewing a lot. So I can't ignore Potter while talking about theme parks the way I could ignore it while talking about books or movies nowadays. So I guess if I were to be in a Disney parade, I would be in Paint. I'd prefer to be in Paint the Night because I like the music better than the music in Christmas Fantasy. I'm also not a dancer, so I really don't have any. There's no role for me in a parade, and I'm not the right height to play any of the characters, so I would not be in a Disney parade. And I hear tell they're inventing a Tom Hanks around here, but it'll never work. Anyway, this is why we're here. All right, I think it's looping.
Check me out. No, seriously, check me out. I said consummate beans. Consummate. Deleted. Dudes. Everybody to the limit. Everybody to the limit. Everybody come on. God. Looks like I'm gonna have to jump. Holy crap. Hey, kid. I'm talking home dog. Hey, what do you mean by plush dog pretend? If you rub me on your face, I'll give you a rash. Talking strong bad plush dog will not actually give you a rash.
That's a good question. It seems to be all internal. It contains AA batteries, so maybe they'll do a battery replacement video like they did for the Kick the Cheat doll. I was answering this question here. I forgot to put it on screen.
I'm Strongman from StrongmanAllTheTimeSoGreat.com. What the crap? Arrow! Checking my email. Checking my email.
Anyway. Oh, this thing is fun, and I'm glad I bought it. And I'm glad that I can now officially consider it a business expense because I did a stream unboxing it. And I'm sure I will find use for this in all my future Decemberween videos as well. I have played the Telltale Homestar game. I played it when it came out. I was so happy it existed. It was, it was the only real, like, long-form storytelling from Homestar, so that was very interesting to see how it translated, but it was a lot of fun. I know what you mean about that feeling, about that, like, being on the same reference wavelength, brainwave. It's the same thing that's great about, when Mystery Science Theater makes a joke you love, or the joke you would make. Oh, just watch. They'll probably do it. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up here shortly, but thank you all for joining me as I play with my new toy. And while we're here talking about, mostly talking about theme parks, but also talking about Homestar adjacent things. So you may have heard me several months ago on the Come On Fahuquapods podcast talking about Homestar Runner. I love that podcast so much. So Michael Hunter, the co-host of the podcast, just started a GoFundMe because he needs to get surgery for his cat. It's a very sad story, but this is, I'm putting the GoFundMe link in the chat. And yeah, if anyone's able to give, it's an expensive surgery for his cat. And if anyone's able to give anything, I know he'd appreciate it. And but yeah, not to end on a down note, but just trying to end on trying to help a friend whose work I enjoy. But yeah, thank you all for joining us, and until next time. And yeah, we'll probably do another stream before the month is through, as well as a Patreon stream at some point. If you want to join us for all the Patreon streams, you know how to support at patreon.com/Doggins. And for all the other streams, they will be here on both Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, thank you all for joining us. And until next time, this is Dave signing off.